And there were a lot more people, as Larry just mentioned, affected by Ryan Newman's wreck, certainly the team. But what about Ryan Blaney and Corey Lajoie, the two other drivers that were involved? Well, we are happy to go back out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway and have Corey Lajoie join us live from the racetrack. Corey, I know that this has probably been a very busy and emotional week for you, so we're very thankful to have you join us here today. And listen, we know wrecks are going to happen. You know wrecks are going to happen. It's just part of the sport. But how did you personally process the events once you realized how severe things looked to be on Monday night?
Just talking through it with my wife, really. It's hard to grasp it. You're not used to being involved in a situation like that. That was my first ever big speedway crash, and to have Ryan in that bad of shape of what we thought at that moment, obviously was scary for everybody involved, but I think everybody knows getting back to the racetrack and kind of getting back in the swing of things, especially knowing the condition of Ryan. The racetrack has a way of making your anxiety go up, but it also has a great calming effect as well, knowing that you can get strapped back in the car and you are able to do what we're able to do each and every week.
Corey, you've been racing almost your entire life, and you and I had a conversation earlier in the week on a Sirius radio show, and you told me this is the hardest hit you have ever taken. I guess moving forward, do you think that there's anything that needs to be looked at or anything that needs to be changed as we do move forward?
I think John Padillac and the guys at the R&D Center are doing a great job, even with my dad's seat company, the Joy of Seating. There's only 3 or 4 of us in the Cup Series that run those seats, but my dad's passion is to keep short track guys safe all across the world, and it really just trickles down from the technology that NASCAR is improvising or making with these Cup cars that go down to keeping short trackers safe. And I think that obviously NASCAR has taken these 2 cars back and they've diagnosed them and figured out what areas they can do to make them better and stronger. With this next gen car coming in, I think those cars are even 30-40% safer than what we have now. So that just goes to show, man, NASCAR is investing a lot of money to keep us drivers safe as well as the fans.
Hey, Corey, a month or so ago, you introduced Watto Wilson at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And while you were there, you gave Rick Hendrick a handwritten letter on why you thought you'd be the right guy to replace Jimmy Johnson when he retires at the end of this year. Is that story true? And just explain to us why you took that approach.
It's hard to stand out in this garage just because you're handicapped by the horse you're sitting on every week, and I wanted to do something out of the ordinary a little bit to maybe get Rick's attention just so he can give me a look every now and then because I've learned a lot of the intangibles in the sport just from having a grind and doing it the hard way that I feel like in the right position, around the right people and the right cars could pay dividends. But for the most part, man, I'm really just concentrated on getting this 32 car with Schluter Systems up the board as high as I can this year. But yeah, it is true. And that Motor Trend show they're doing on that app actually did a good job of kind of showing how that unfolded. So if anybody wants to see it, go on the Motor Trend app and watch that NASCAR All In. They got a little spot on there, kind of runs through that story. But yeah, it is true, and who knows where it can go.
Hey, Corey, we've asked several drivers this week what it's like for them to get back into the race car after what happened Monday night. What is this day going to be like for you?
I think once you put the helmet on and you kind of get back in the zone and you get the feel for it, I think you just concentrate on making your car go as fast as possible. But when you get outside the car and you're talking to the fans and engage with everybody in this NASCAR community, because we are one family that travels together for 38 weekends out of the year, that's when you can kind of get sentimental and emotional. And Ryan, if you're watching, everybody here is thinking about you, everybody's talking about you, everybody hopes you're doing well, and we hope to see you back soon. But when the fact just sitting in the car, putting the helmet on and pulling the belts tight allows me to kind of get back locked in and do my job.
Hey, Corey, thank you. We're thinking about you today as you get out on that racetrack as well. Thanks again for taking some time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be on.